everyone, and welcome back to the Department Podcast, the wrestling recap version of the Department Podcast. We're back after a week hiatus because I had a wedding to go to, but we're all back. Crew's all here. Justin Valentovic, Jesse Norman, and Stephen Clark here to break down this weekend wrestling. But fellas, before we get into all the wrestling news and all that stuff, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing great. I'm dealing with a little bit of a mouse problem in my house a little bit. So a few days ago,
you want me to send Sarah over? She's really good at mice.
Oh,
honestly, yes, because the mouse traps we're having suck. So basically, a few nights ago, we saw one scurrying around our basement. So we tried to not alert anybody, but then one got upstairs yesterday. So my mother screamed absolutely bloody murder as if she was getting murdered by Jason Voorhees. So we're like, oh boy, we knew what that problem was. So then we got mouse traps, and then we checked them this morning, but they're the crappy, literally like the Tomcat ones where it's the piece of wood and the part that snaps over like this. Well, the mouse, I guess, wants to say F you to us, where he was able to get the peanut butter off of one of them without setting off the trap.
Smart.
I
Gotta give him props
I have
for
a
that.
couple humane ones at my house if I could give them to you. They're usually pretty good.
Honestly, your house or your apartment?
My apartment.
Your current location.
Oh, so
My
it's
current
closer.
location. I have one that we used it before when we had a small mouse, and all you do is you catch it, and then you're supposed to take it a little bit
Far away from your
a
house.
a mile or two away, and then just it don't matter. A bird's gonna get it, but
Maybe I'll stop by later.
Yeah, take
yeah,
a trip.
they're really easy to use.
Not even
I
joking.
like them. And it
Okay,
makes
good.
you feel better because you're not killing one.
Good, because
Good.
it took my father and I about 20 minutes to figure out with a YouTube video how to set the trap.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I can just picture you and Warren just looking online hold on, what are we doing here?
Oh, yeah, and then the peanut butter was on because you had to put the bait on first, so it was just getting sloppy and
Yeah.
messy.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, so that's
So that's how your life's going. Jesse,
Yeah.
how you doing? Doing good?
I'm good.
one
Good.
snapped
I
on
don't
my
have a
finger
mouse
before.
problem right now.
That's good. Neither do I, so that's great.
You don't have you don't have a monitor, though.
That's another story. I'll get into that after this. That's not needed to be on here because that's something. All right, but anyways,
Wrestling.
wrestling. Wrestling. All right, we don't talk about AEW too much on the show anymore because I actually don't get TNT anymore because I switched cable things and all that whatever nonsense. So I don't get TNT. Plus, we don't really watch it all together. But a little news on TNT and AEW. Miro, formerly known as Rusev, is now All Elite, a part of All Elite Wrestling, known as the Best Man Miro, because he's the best man at Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford's wedding that's upcoming. What do you guys think? Another WWE talent signed by AEW.
You know, I hate when people are like, oh, they're just all ex-WWE guys. Where do you expect them to go? Initially, when all of WWE is based out of Florida, especially right now, and so is AEW. Most people are not going to make the trip, to Tennessee for Impact. So it makes sense. So people bitching about, oh, it's just former WWE guys. Well, what the hell do you expect?
Well, and there's also WWE, when Triple H started to really become a prominent figure with NXT and everything, they signed every guy.
Indie.
Triple H literally bought the Indies.
Every guy is at this point a WWE guy.
Yeah.
What do you AEW can't establish a developmental thing yet. They haven't even been a company for that long.
I'm okay with them signing WWE talent as long as they don't rely too much on what they did in WWE.
That's the thing. If they
Once
use
they
the
become TNA of justifying giving Mick Foley a championship main event in TNA come on.
Yeah, I
2000
agree.
what was that 8 2009?
If they use WWE lore and canon as background and for rivalries, then it's an issue. But
I agree.
they got to go work somewhere.
I'm cool with them signing. I'm cool with that.
4 companies in WWE or in wrestling right now, and one of them is New Japan.
So I got to cross that one
on
out.
the other side, yeah, you have to cross the ocean, and also, there's a pandemic going on.
Oh yeah, that thing.
That minor
and then
thing.
Impact, who probably is already capped out with as many guys
Budget.
as they signed.
They blew their budget
So-
on the Good Brothers.
Yeah,
Literally the Good Brothers and undercard talent. They blew their budget on.
If you're not wanted in WWE, I mean, literally, where else are you supposed to go?
I agree. I agree, but they're using the best man gimmick for Rusev right now. Is that a little stab at like the whole Lana wedding thing that happened?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, honestly, and okay, this is how I feel. If I don't mind when AEW makes fun of WWE when it's something bad and stupid. Like I really truly don't mind. Like it's one thing if they're like just like the whole show is just like a parody of WWE, which is the route that TNA went, which was bad. Nobody wanted that.
I just figured, it just dawned on me. You know how, like, when someone wins a championship, like, sports teams, WWE sends them a belt with the team's side plates?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if, by some chance, AEW is still a thing by the time the Jaguars win a championship?
They would definitely have the AEW belt. By no chance they wouldn't.
No, but I'm saying, would WWE send them a Jaguars championships to the cons?
Probably.
Because that's probably going to make it on TV then.
I hope
probably
they do.
Would send it, but they wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just
the Jags would use the AEW one.
Yeah, they like do a segment on TV about it though. AEW, you know that.
Again, far and away though.
But it's also funny going back.
Very far and away. Yeah,
nothing. It's also funny with Miro, Rusev, whatever you want to call him, how he basically left WWE on a love triangle marriage gimmick like storyline, and now he gets brought into AEW. Same thing.
Triangle gimmick story, kind of. Yeah. No, that's what I brought up with the whole wedding thing. But enough of that. We talked too much about Rusev. I like Rusev, but whatever.
He's blonde.
I like it.
I like it. It makes him look a little different. He looks different than just WWE Rusev.
I agree.
I like the move. I think I liked him in WWE. I didn't like him to the degree that some people did, but at the point when he was getting those type of reactions that he was, and the fact that they never did anything with it was absolutely ridiculous. Like it was exactly like what happened to Zack Ryder.
Literally.
He was so over. It was the most over thing in the company, and they were like, well, we didn't want that to get over. So
Yeah, I agree on all that situation. But yeah, exactly. Good for Rusev getting those paychecks again. Happy for him. Happy for his family.
I wonder what he's gonna do with streaming now.
Oh, he'll still be.
They're allowed to.
No, he can still. AEW guys.
He's an AEW. He can stream.
But I mean, he wanted to be like a full-time streamer at one point.
Well,
I mean, they only do like a couple of recordings a week. And,
that's the thing. They can record 3 weeks at a time. Then he's off for 2 weeks. Then
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
he's fine.
Okay, let's continue in outside the ring news. And Gerald Briscoe officially released. He was furloughed back in April when everybody got cut, but they officially released him after working with the company since 1984 as a backstage producer and all that stuff. He was a wrestler before that, but that's way before WWE. It's the territory era. But it's sad to see him go. It really is. Like a guy that was like with the company for this long and just let go just because they wanted to save money.
I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back in like a month at like a lower salary.
They should, because
he probably was making too much money. He was one of Vince's guys.
He was one of Vince's guys, but he's just there for so long, and it's just a shame to see him.
And I'm sure in his contract, he probably had a severance clause somewhere. If it was really one of Vince's boys, like he's not cutting him high and dry and leaving him high and dry. Like I'm sure.
Probably.
I'm sure he's made enough money over the years too.
Yeah.
Working as one of the higher end producers.
And I'm sure
he was on air for a while.
I'm sure once life gets somewhat back to normal and they hit the road again, whenever that is, or live crowd, and they start bringing in more income, people will be back.
That'd be nice because he's been there forever, and it's sad to see someone of that long just
go.
Yeah.
Well, that was like Kyoto. It's like, how much money are you really saving dumping them?
True.
That was just like they're using the furloughs just a way to save money, but also justify just getting rid of people with
I cite they cut $4 million in contracts when COVID hit just to make a $15 million lawsuit to make it so that they could keep recording. Yeah. So. It's money, but also they have more money than they know what to do with.
It's a business.
It was tactics. Yeah. It was all business tactics.
They're all carnies, the McMahons, and you know how business works. Business over feelings and personal relationships and all that stuff. But last bit of news wasn't too much news. I cut out some stuff because we weren't around last week and a lot of stuff got irrelevant. But there are rumors swarming of of Cormier possibly wanting to give WWE a shot. We saw a couple
to.
UFC guys in the past, like even in the 90s, we saw Ken Shamrock. We saw like a bunch of guys from UFC make the transition over. Some were smooth, some were not. Ronda was smooth, but others weren't.
There's kind of 3 tiers of UFC people. Yeah. You got your Brock and Rouseys, your Shamrocks, like you said, and then your Cain Velasquez's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the spectrum of all of that.
Bad.
No.
WWE had him do a character that he was not used to wrestling with.
I agree.
They made him be an MMA person when he in Lucha Underground was being Lucha Libre, literally flying all over the place.
But no, they wanted him to be like the Brock mold of just ground and pound and all that, which won't work.
And then Brock just beat him.
I feel like Cormier would do well in WWE.
Cormier will do well.
I feel like
he wanted to for a while.
I feel like he's a little bit more of a household name rather than Velasquez. You know, like if you pay attention to the sport, you know who it is, even if you're not like hardcore into it.
Yeah.
But people know Cormier.
Of course.
So they would protect him, and he give him a little more oomph, you know, to what he had to do than Velasquez, I guess.
All right, you know what this means? What? They got to put the belt on Brock and bring Cormier in
for Saudi Arabia show,
and
probably.
Have Brock Cormier go for 3 minutes so Brock can win.
Get a Brock Cormier Tyson Fury triple threat match.
Oh,
that would be really bad.
It would be really bad
and unsafe to people's careers.
Usually, adding another person to a match is like, oh, okay, that probably will make it better.
It's usually like the cherry on top. It's like, nope, that doesn't help.
No,
Tyson Fury's ghost punches.
I feel like by this time next year, Cormier will have debuted in the WWE already.
Bold prediction there. I like it. So you guys want to see it? You guys are down to see this?
I'd be down to see another UFC person that isn't Brock and see what they use him for.
I think Cormier also has the ability to like do a lot of things.
He can also talk on his own a lot better than Brock can.
Oh, by far. He could honestly come in and be a commentator, like how he does for UFC.
Probably already. Would. Probably that's where he would start. If he was get signed. Yeah,
and that'd be a good way to just get him into the fold. Is start him at commentary and build a feud there. Oh, if they bring him in and like do like a Samoa Joe Cormier feud, that would be so good.
Throw them in the NXT fight pit.
Oh man,
I love the fight pit. Fight pit's great.
It's just a squared lion's den.
It's literally that's what it is. But yeah, that's it for outside of the ring. Not too much. Quiet week. Cut out some stuff. There's Royal Rumble rumors going around of where it's going to be. There's WrestleMania rumors. Don't need to talk about that too much.
Yeah, that's almost like how like you see like baseball teams selling like tickets for next year. It's like until there's a vaccine, it's all hollow like points at that. Like nothing's gonna stick potentially.
Yeah, and we're 3-4 months out from Rumble.
Literally,
they don't even know what's going on.
There's a second wave apparently going throughout like England right now and all that stuff. So we're gonna get locked down.
Vaccine day got pushed back till like April 2021.
Great, fantastic. But let's get in the ring now. That's enough outside the ring stuff. Like always, huh?
I said, "Oh boy,
oh boy, oh boy."
I was excited.
Yeah, Raw happened. It was a better Raw. Raw hasn't been too hot the last couple of weeks, but this one was a little bit better. But we're starting off with the big hot feud on Raw, which is Orton and McIntyre. And I wasn't here to say this last week, but Drew McIntyre pulled up in an ambulance 2 weeks ago or whatever. And I guess he was just living in an ambulance for 2 weeks because, you know, he came to the ring in an ambulance. But
remember when Braun was thrown in the trash?
Oh, yeah.
Compactor in the garbage truck, and then he showed up.
And he showed up in that, yeah. So, but they're running Orton and McIntyre again. It was seeming to be a regular match up until this Monday. It was announced that it'll be an ambulance match, which is a stipulation that actually makes sense for once because.
Yes. And they built it subtly very well with both of them getting carried out in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Like that was see, this is how you naturally build a stipulation that doesn't have to be themed just for the sake of it being a pay-per-view.
Well, because the pay-per-view is called Clash of Champions. It's not called ambulance match.
It's not called ambulance ambulance.
So ambulance ambulance.
like imagine having like another ambulance match on the show. I shouldn't have said that because some like low person in WWE is probably listening to this right now. Like,
they're like, you know, we need more ambulances.
Two. Oh,
Shane's back. Shane will be in an ambulance match.
Hey, I'm with it.
But I like it. It's a stipulation we haven't seen in a while. Also, you know, well,
I
'cause
think the
COVID
last
been
time was
for 8 months,
Braun Roman, right? Where Braun flipped the ambulance.
Was that Great Balls?
I think it might have been.
Well, I think so because Brock was going at Joe. And that
So
was
it had
like
to be
the only
Great
time
Balls.
we didn't have Brock Roman or Brock
So
Strowman.
Great Balls of Fire 2017, the last time we saw it.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Really?
Look
Yeah.
at that.
Cool.
I'm a fact checker.
Oh, look at you.
That match
yeah.
was good.
It makes sense. It makes sense for the stipulation. And there's another stipulation that happened on SmackDown that makes sense as well. So we'll get to that later, but this one makes a lot of sense. I'm very
Ain't
happy.
it something when you put stipulations that make sense naturally, that aren't forced? It makes for an enjoyable match build then.
It's
Yeah.
almost like you could have a match type anytime instead of having just Hell in a Cell at Hell in a Cell or TLC at TLC.
Bingo.
I've said it for years. The naming of the pay-per-views
should
of
not
the
be the match.
stipulation matches, it's killed it.
Remember
It-
Fatal 4-Way?
Oh my god.
Remember Breaking Point?
Breaking Point was cool. I liked Breaking Point.
Bragging Rights was another crappy one.
Bragging
That's
Rights was
Survivor
stupid.
Series
That's what Survivor
2.0.
Series was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, what other shitty names were there?
There's plenty.
I would rather
Why not,
any
like-
of those shitty names than just Hell in a Cell.
But here's the thing: they own the rights to all of the old WCW names, right? Halloween Havoc, throw that in October, bring that back. I don't care. What else you got? Starcade, Bad Blood,
Bash at the Beach.
You know,
they still have all their old ones too.
Vengeance.
Judgment Day, No Mercy, Armageddon,
Yeah.
Unforgiven. Like, there's plenty.
Vengeance, all those good ones.
Get rid of TLC, get rid of Hell in a Cell, and just
Or,
I'm
like-
fine with Elimination Chamber staying. But
I'm fine with Money in the Bank staying too.
Yeah.
Those two make sense.
or even put Money in the Bank back on Mania, honestly.
Oh, that would be fun. But then it would make the Mania cards too long. But I agree.
Yeah,
I
especially with
did
two.
love when it was on Mania.
Me too. So did I. All right, continue with Raw. Last week we also missed that Cedric Alexander joined the Hurt Business. So that happened. Cedric as a heel, very interesting to see. I like the direction they're going with him because Cedric, I'm a big fan of Cedric. I always had high hopes for him, but it's finally I know.
Stop getting ahead of yourself. They don't care about Cedric.
But it's finally his talent and his personality is finally being shown and being like brought out with the veterans alongside him in the Hurt Business. So I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, Cedric is the best performer in the Hurt Business out of all of them, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
Like
sure.
overall, wrestling-wise, definitively,
number one.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think I hope they don't like have Cedric lose and then get kicked out of the Hurt Business. Just to like have him turn heel just to turn him back face.
Yeah, the best.
If you're turning him heel, go all in on it.
And what I like about him too is his style is drastically different than the three meatheads, you know, in the Hurt Business with him. You know, because, you know, Lashley, you know, just big and beefy. MVP's old.
Beef.
Shelton's, you know, a mix of both. So it's nice
Yeah.
to have someone younger who can actually fly around the ring, you know, jump off out of the ring onto people. Like, it's just a breath of fresh air to give something that different from the other three members.
Well, and it'd be good in I think he'd be good in a Justin Gabriel role of he hits the last move of
As,
like
the
a high
exclamation point.
flyer. Like, you know, Lashley locks in the full Nelson, chokes the guy out, throws him on the ground or whatever, and then Cedric hits,
whatever.
you know, a high flying move.
Yeah,
I think that'd be good.
I'm hoping, and this is a lot of high hopes right here, that he's getting the Rock treatment with the Nation of Domination. How like the Rock was added into the Nation, then they were a group, and then the Rock kind of started getting cocky because they were winning a lot, and he kind of like branches off from the Nation and like propels him to the next level. I am really hoping something like that happens for Cedric.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they add him because he's like Shelton's old. Shelton's been around the block. They have no plans for Shelton Benjamin after this.
No.
Lashley, as good as he is, also getting older. How much of a work rate does he really have? And since he's come back, they really haven't given Lashley that much. Like, we thought we were going to get a Brock match, and we never did. And they promised him a Brock match
And they
that we never got.
And they gave him one title match.
Yeah, and MVP is also old.
Very.
So at the end of this, there needs to be a guy to come out. And I think Cedric is the only one that makes sense. Still could be Lashley.
And
But-
maybe if, you know, they break apart, maybe then they just have MVP just be Cedric's manager.
Fine.
You know, because
Fine.
MVP is still really good on the mic.
For sure. No, I agree. All right, continuing with Raw really quick. We had a Raw women's title match. We had Asuka defending her title against Mickie James. Asuka won, and it seems like they're setting up. I thought they were going to run this again at Clash. I really did, but Zelina Vega came out after the match.
Yep.
And
this is just out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, Zelina a little bit, a couple segments before, was sick of Andrade and Garza arguing and all that, and like, I had enough of you guys.
No,
whatever.
I mean, but just to thrust her into the title picture, just
so. Did you
nowhere.
guys? I don't know if you guys seen. I don't know if it was a quote directly from her or from somebody else, but I think it was from her.
Okay.
But Vince really likes her, and compares her to guess who?
AJ.
Stephanie.
What?
He said she carries segments and has this way about her that reminds him of Stephanie.
I was going to say AJ Lee because she played AJ Lee in the Page movie.
But his daughter.
That name's forbidden.
The not wrestler.
What?
That's why she's getting the push.
That's like a backhanded compliment almost.
He thinks Stephanie and Shane are main eventers. Like Vince legitimately, I'm not joking. Vince thinks Shane and Stephanie drive ratings. Like he thinks they're incredible on air. And that's what he's saying to Zelina Vega. He thinks, like, the direct quote is like she presents herself like Stephanie, the way she carries segments and things. So her managing promo career thing might be done, and she's about to get pushed into the ring.
Oh my God! Well, first of all, R.I.P. Andrade and Angel Garza because they're done without her.
Yeah. So is that stable just done
it's
now?
very like they're on very thin ice right now.
Well, and at this point, it's kind of crazy. Garza's the one they care about more.
Yeah, Vince literally brought him up after like a couple months in NXT.
They do not care about Andrade anymore.
Which is amazing
nobody
too.
can tell me otherwise.
And you would think with him being married to Charlotte, you'd think that would put him in the good graces or engaged or whatever they're doing.
There was reports that came out months ago that I still think just hold true. And it's Vince said, if you want to push, learn English.
And look at Andrade. They're basically Angel Garza. They're basically the exact same talent. They look similar, but Angel Garza can speak a lot better English than Andrade can.
Better.
And rip his pants off.
And rip his pants off. Hey.
So Andrade
can't rip his pants off.
Just send him back to NXT.
Yeah, but also, what's there for him to do in NXT? Like,
yeah,
there's no reason a talent like Andrade should go back to NXT.
Or just
just
move him back to SmackDown and maybe bring back the pimp gimmick or something.
Oh, SmackDown. He would be great on SmackDown.
SmackDown is literally I'm getting like 06, 07 vibes of SmackDown lately. It's been
if they throw Andrade on there, it would be incredible.
Like we'll get to SmackDown later, but their main event scene is good. Their tag teams are getting better. Their women's division is great on SmackDown. Their mid card is phenomenal on SmackDown. SmackDown really feels like the old days of SmackDown, and I'm okay with that. But Zelina Vega, number one contender, cool. I'm looking forward to see what she can actually do, like one-on-one against the top tier talent.
She's gonna get eaten by Asuka, though, right? Like we can agree on that.
I hope it's a little competitive. I hope it's like Dominic and Rollins at SummerSlam, at least a little bit like that.
I think they should have. I mean, this is like her first match. Why didn't you put like Mickie in there and just have her cost Mickie the match or something? Make it a triple threat.
And then we'll do a number one contender next week.
Or something. Another thing that I just can't stand is they have just absolutely buried Mickie coming back. Oh, she's a Hall of Famer.
No respect.
She's a Hall of Famer. She is like the one good diva that they had after Trish and Lita. And you can make some arguments here of like, oh, Beth Phoenix and Lay Cool and
Mickey's
the only one that was consistent and that was top tier always was Mickie, and they clearly just are like whatever.
It's very disrespectful. Like even from like her return.
She's still good. She can still go in the ring.
That's the biggest thing. If she was like very like
stiff and just kind of
stale in the ring, yeah, like I can get that, but she's good. Like you said, Jesse, she's good. But that's enough of the women's division for now. I don't think there's anything to What? You don't like that? Like that? It was not notes. It was not on the show.
I feel like on Raw, like
there's
with
nothing
SmackDown,
much.
You want to talk about Shayna
building-
Baszler and Nia Jax? You want to talk about that? Yeah,
No.
exactly.
See, with SmackDown, it feels like they're like building.
Yeah, you have
know, women
Alexa,
in
you
the
got
division.
Lacey, you have the
Raw
mystery
is just
woman.
like Raw is like we're just gonna wait until Becky or Charlotte comes back.
whichever one comes back
every week
Whatever.
until then.
We just need to keep booking until Royal Rumble, and then when one of them comes back at Rumble and wins the whole thing, Charlotte's gonna beat Asuka for the 7th time.
No.
I just
Charlotte's
like,
probably coming back first.
I think Charlotte is gonna come back first too.
Yeah, because
even though
Becky's having a child.
in like November, she still need a few months to
Yeah,
raise the child.
That's 3
I'd
I
say
mean, unless she's super.
Maybe like Mania if you're lucky for Becky.
She might make an appearance.
Maybe a surprise appearance.
Charlotte beats Asuka for the title. Becky shows up. Just drop
On
Asuka.
it back, baby.
Just drop Asuka.
Let's
Backlash.
get it. A best of 7
Run it
series.
at Backlash. Run it, Becky.
Oh boy, they really.
Yeah, SmackDown feels like they're like building things, while Raw feels like we're waiting for this pandemic. We're waiting for this stuff to end. We have Retribution. Like that's.
Hey, speaking of Retribution.
So I guess they're officially a Raw group.
I guess.
I think so.
Raw
Like,
needs it. Raw
Yeah.
needs it. So
Yeah, SmackDown doesn't.
yeah. All right, Retribution. Let's talk about that since you guys brought that up. A lot of rumors swirling on the internet right now during the Aleister Black and Kevin Owens match because the lights did flicker a little bit. Aleister Black looked all around, confused and dazed. Owens was not fazed at all by the lights. Hit the stunner, I believe, and pinned Aleister Black in the middle of the ring. Does this have anything to do with Retribution, with Owens being involved with it, or is it just a fluke?
I hope so. I really hope so because if Kevin Owens gets a group and it's like them and he's like the secret leader pulling the whole strings, they could really run with that then.
It makes sense because Owens really has been screwed over so many times.
Ever since
so
he
it makes
lost to
sense why he
Goldberg.
wants Retribution.
Yeah, he's literally been screwed over multiple times. You're right. Just
the thing
starting
is,
with
like,
the Goldberg to
Yeah.
everything.
That's really that's
Well,
where it
and
all
he's
started.
again, he's kickoff KO. Like they don't.
gets booted to the kickoff show.
They
Exactly.
don't care.
Wasn't on WrestleMania and WrestleMania 35 when he was healthy. Like
Nope.
nothing.
And I mean, I really like Owens. I want him to be the leader. I also just like, how many times are they going to give him these like half face turns just to send him back heel?
No,
It's like
it all
Commit.
started when he came back with these face turns. When he came
Yeah.
back from injury was when he did the whole New Day thing and he was the big O.
but
and
then he turned on them.
then he
and
turned on them. But then he turned back to
immediately-
being
So it's like it's like, okay, people like Kevin Owens. Just give us something to
Fully
get
co-
behind.
fully commit
either the
one way or
face or the heel, because people will like him either way.
He can do
be
both.
the slimy heel, or he can be the I'm just gonna come in here and stunner everybody.
Yeah, he can do both. That's the thing too. A lot of people like fail to do both. Like we've seen with Sasha Banks is a horrible face but a fantastic heel.
Still
Owens
keeping
is
her face.
yeah.
The only other one who could kind of do both right now is AJ.
I think Balor too. Well, Balor can. I don't think WWE let him because his
Yeah.
face gimmick was just smile.
Smile. Smile. But no, Balor's doing great in NXT. AJ, like he said, is doing great as a heel too. He can do both. But I think Owens can pull it off if they
And
want to really run with it.
And if the names are who we think they are, Kevin Owens would definitely legitimize the group and make them more credible.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah, and
right
Owens
away.
Owens has those ties to NXT. You can even call back to when he went to War Games and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, oh, when I went down there, I had my eyes on a couple guys.
he teamed
and I
with
called him.
Dijak in that match, and
Yeah,
Dijak
exactly.
is in Retribution. this year.
Exactly.
It's
Like,
just
oh,
a
I had
weird
my
group.
eyes on him.
Retribution
It
is just
is.
a weird group. Like
Again, I think it's a thing that they were like, okay, we need something. We need something.
They're-
and they
I
were
feel-
like, faction. Let's do a faction. And then they're like, who do we have? And they're like, well, these good guys in NXT don't have anything going on.
Yeah, but I just don't. I'm very mixed feelings on it still. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I should not be seeing Dijak and Mia Yim in a faction together. It's just two complete opposites.
And especially one that's called Retribution.
But see,
like, what is Dijak and Mia Yim?
And that's why they would almost need Kevin Owens to be like the guy who rallied all the troops of people who were pissed off and not used properly. Like, that's what they would need.
It's not going to be Owens.
It won't be.
Watch.
That was just a fluke.
It should be like
they actually Kevin Dunn accidentally flipped the lights and flipped them back on.
Wrong switcher. Oh shit!
Oh man, I'm there.
Well, okay. This is the other thing though. Alistair and Owens are having a feud. Alistair's the bad guy.
Yep.
They just made him a bad guy
with an eye patch.
So now, so he's a bad guy, but also the Hurt, which I don't mind this later on when the Hurt Business came.
Yes, we'll get to that.
And they got involved, and they're also the bad guys. But it's like, wait a minute, it's Retribution about to be a face faction.
But see, I like that as like Raw's last stand that they came out and tried to defend Raw themselves.
Yes, let's get to that because the main event of the show was McIntyre and Keith Lee, and they were having
Keith
a match.
Lee is never going to get an actual finish, I think, on like normal television. At this rate.
Literally, but he has a new attire again. He's rocking like a singlet top now.
Fine, whatever, cool.
We don't care about the attire anymore. Change the music. That's what matters. Attire, whatever.
Generic. It sounds like something I would put in like my 6th grade PowerPoint. Like I went to royaltyfreemusic.com.
That's where I got our music from, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's what Keith Lee's rocking right now. Just like royalty free, like rock and roll number 4.
Like, come on. But anyways, they had a good match going on for a little while, not long. But Retribution, whoop-de-doo, they come out and they start wrecking havoc again. The announcers book it, they left. And it's just like these weird camera angles. But then you got the Hurt Business coming out. All 4 members of the Hurt Business. Raw united as one against the Hurt Business. And
sorta.
Yeah, sorta. But it was then you have Hurt Business teaming up with Lee and McIntyre and against Retribution, and it was a really good ending to Raw. And then you see Keith Lee's 340-pound big ass just doing a flip over the rope, and
Drew McIntyre, who's like 6'9".
Yeah,
McIntyre's huge too.
Like just
Her business looks so sweet in their suits.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'll say it. I love when wrestlers come out in suits and do like a professional gimmick thing. I love it.
It's like the mercenary look.
It just works. Like that's what I want. If Roman does that faction thing that I've said on Smackdown, it would be phenomenal if they did that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like the suits look too, especially when like your name's the Hurt Business. Like you have the word business in your name.
Yeah,
and it's just business. It's nice. Very nice. Very nice. But it was cool. I thought it was a really good ending of Raw. One of the best in months.
Were there more members of Retribution? There was like 10 of them this time.
I don't know.
There was like a small army.
Don't even try to count, man.
I tried to freeze frame and count. I'm like, okay, it looks like there's 7. Okay, no, there's 11 now.
Now there's 11. Now there's 24.
There's only going to be like 6 of them in the faction.
You know what they should do one time, though, is have them like hack the Thunderdome monitors and put all like Retribution people around it. That'd be cool, but they won't.
No, they won't.
Oh, that would be cool.
They won't, but... all right, that's it for Monday Night Raw. We're going to take a quick little break right here. And right after our quick break, we're going to break down NXT and break down Friday Night Smackdown. So stay tuned for like 15 seconds. We're back.
Don't sound so excited.
Yeah, we're back after a long, not really break. All right, NXT.
I make it like 30 seconds usually.
Literally.
A little music in there.
You gotta keep the people going.
Future place for advertisements if everyone wants to.
If anyone wants to advertise the Department Podcast, you can hit us up on our email at thedepartmentpodcast@gmail.com. Email us.
I'll add that to the description.
Yeah, we're down for anything.
Business inquiries.
Anything, yeah, sure.
We'll take your money. We'll say your product's good. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. As long as you send us some free stuff. Okay. NXT. Wade Barrett's officially with NXT. I guess this could have been outside the ring, but he officially signed his contract. Great. He's been phenomenal.
How long till he gets in the ring, you think?
Oh, they'll do a feud maybe in NXT. Maybe like Finn. I think I can see Finn because Wade Barrett could be like, "Oh, I started up NXT. I was the first person to win NXT and all that." And
that's right,
Finn's
when I
like,
was a
"Nope,
kid.
I put NXT on the map. I'm the
Yeah.
Finn boy out of Ireland, blah blah blah." And then they can have a match or something. That'd be fun.
He won it when it was the game show.
Yeah, he did.
Mhm.
He was the first one.
Yeah.
But that's great. Good for Barrett. That's it. Let's go through the matches first. There were 2 title matches on the show, which both of them were very predictable because both of these people that were defending their titles just won. Breezango defended their titles against Imperium and won clean. So good for them. Maybe Imperium goes back to the UK now.
Yeah, they're probably shipping them back out just because NXT
That's
UK
starting up.
like next week, right?
There was.
We're not going to cover that, right?
No, because it's on at 3 p.m. here,
Yeah.
and it's just very and I don't know. If something crazy happens, we'll talk about it outside the ring, maybe. But otherwise, nah, we're not going to cover that.
Thank God. I can only name Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and that's where I stopped.
I'm almost in the same category as you with that. So, yeah, NXT UK is back. They're probably going back to the UK. Nothing there. Any comments on that or no?
No, keep on moving.
Damian Priest defended his North American title against Thatcher. Thatcher continues to lose on television, but that's another. I have nothing else on that. You guys? No. No, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. That's why I wanted to get those out of the way first.
Doesn't really do anything.
Exactly. But next week, NXT is a really, really big week because, first of all, they announced a takeover coming October 4th. We don't know the name of it yet. We don't know what it's called. If it's going to be Halloween themed because it's in October, it should be. That'd be nice. But as of right now, it's just NXT takeover. But there's 2 number 1 contender matches first. Let's start with the one that was announced first in the show. It's a battle royal. All the women on the NXT roster and a battle royal to see who's going to face Io Shirai at NXT takeover. Who are you guys picking for this match?
I really got to go with Ripley, probably.
Got a Rhea. We got a Rhea.
Maybe.
She hasn't really had another run at the belt since they kind of stuck her with the whole, Robert Stone brand.
Yeah.
Weird
thing.
I think it's very
detour.
possible you get Rhea. I think that's the favorite right now.
Maybe Shotzi?
So Shotzi, they just had a match this week on NXT. It was good. It was good, but they could do more. They could do more.
That's
so
what I'm
also a
saying. I
possibility.
think since they did the match, maybe because it wasn't like a 20, 30 minute.
No.
I don't see Candice LeRae.
That was my other pick, Candice.
They've waited on the Candice.
That's why
women's championship storyline
for forever,
for so long. Well, that's the thing. It's to the point now where I'm just like, are they ever going to?
I think now or never, honestly.
But weren't they kind of building something between her and Tegan Knox now a little bit?
Yeah, because Tegan went to the Gargano's house and all that. So, first of all, speaking of Tegan, I'm crossing off Tegan and Dakota Kai because those two.
Yeah,
they just had.
Yeah.
So you can cross those out, kind of. But yeah, Tegan's kind of feuding with Candice right now. So I don't know if you want to cross out Candice too or not. Maybe we see Scarlett show up in the match. You never know.
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep Scarlett out entirely for as long as he's gone.
They're going to protect – because here's the thing. If they book her and they're trying to do like the Tik Tok voodoo magic type of like dark imagery type of thing, they have her go in there and just get thrown out like the first elimination. It's like that kind of kills Cross by just by
Scarlett's
association.
in. I have Scarlett win.
Really?
Yeah, Scarlett's in there. Have her win. She doesn't have to win against Io.
Is she fully in? Like guaranteed?
Oh, I don't know if she's in.
Okay.
I'm just taking.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, but if she's in, I'd pick her. But I think Rhea's a good guess. Because Rhea's always a safe bet. She's like the cornerstone of the women's division down in NXT.
When in doubt, go to Rhea.
Rhea's another one that like she kind of she's like run her course in NXT, but like they're holding her there as like a kind of bridge thing because they're really not sure where they're going next.
Yeah, no,
But it's like she's kind of already done it. Like she clearly could be brought up to the main roster.
Oh, for sure, Ken.
But like they're still pausing on it. I don't think Rhea's gonna get another run with the belt though. That means I don't think she will win.
She has like a new look, kind of, so it's possible.
Yeah, it's weird that they rebranded her and gave her like new makeup, new hair, and new attire, sort of. without sending her off TV for really at all.
Other notables in the match, just getting them out of the way. Xia Li, Aaliyah, what's her face? I'm looking right at her. Kaden Carter and Ricochet's girlfriend, her Belleville girl. Those are a couple of other ones. Catanzaro, Casey Catanzaro. Those are a couple other notables, but there's like no.
It doesn't really move. It doesn't make sense.
No, it's Rhea or Candice. Honestly, those are your two. Unless they throw somebody else in that we're not knowing, someone else is coming down we don't know about. But that's it. That's all I think, honestly, at this point. All right, but not more importantly, but on the same level, there's a gauntlet elimination match. The first time ever there's been a gauntlet elimination. So what happens is Regal said there's going to be 5 superstars who weren't named yet, and 2 people start in the ring. But when you get pinned, you're eliminated. But every 2-3 minutes, someone else still comes into the ring. So you could either have a full ring or you could be chilling in the ring by yourself.
It's basically like a Royal Rumble with pinfalls.
Royal Rumble gauntlet, like Royal Rumble Battle Royal, where
something
you
like
have
that.
to pin instead of going over the top rope.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it too.
I can't believe they haven't thought of this like sooner.
Right.
I thought of this before. I'm pretty sure I tried to create this match in like WWE 12.
Something like that.
And it's literally something that they could do and book for the whole second hour of NXT.
Yeah, but
with commercial breaks and everything, like it could run the whole hour.
It'll run them like a good majority, I'd say, for sure. But the field is wide open in NXT.
Yeah,
no one's the front runner right now, if you ask me.
And that's what I like about it. Do they have any confirmed like entries?
I don't think so.
I think we can guess at least like 2. I think Gargano and Ciampa are definitely in.
Probably.
I think Cole will be in there too.
Maybe Kushida. Kushida has like a heelish gimmick going on. He's very aggressive lately. Maybe could they throw Kushida
Do you think they put Dream in it?
Probably.
I wish they didn't. But
I wish they didn't either. But it's like this is for the main event of TakeOver right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is big.
Well, that's why I think Gargano, Ciampa, and Cole are locks. The other 3 from the Fatal 4-Way, I think, are locks.
That's what I'm saying. They very well could have the final 3 be the rest of the Fatal 4-Way from the Iron Man match.
Yeah, because they're like, again, they're going into this kind of like with no build because of Cross's injury.
Exactly. Maybe Bronson Reed shows up.
Bronson Reed could definitely. That'd be a good one.
That'd be fun.
Is Loomis around yet?
Thatcher, maybe.
Thatcher. What'd you say,
Thatcher
Justin?
could.
Loomis, is he back?
Loomis. I don't know if he's
I don't think Loomis is back.
He's pitching for the Orioles instead.
Yeah. You sent me that. Who's that guy?
Bruce Zimmerman. He has a mustache that literally looks, and Jesse, I'll send you the picture of it, but basically it looks like Dexter Loomis.
Yeah.
From NXT.
So is he good?
No. He gave up 4 runs in 5 innings. He was a rookie against the Rays. What do you expect?
Not bad. All right. Dexter Loomis, not bad.
I think maybe they will go Gargano
Balor
and Gargano Balor and then Lareg.
Have them both fight for the titles.
Have them both win. Because I think that's the story they do want to.
Like win the titles?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care. No, I wouldn't. You don't take it off Balor that quick. But that's kind of, I feel like the thing they wanted to do was Gargano's going for the belt while also Candice is going for the belt.
That's fun. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing I think that they could get out of this.
And imagine what they could run with. Because figure this, then they could have it where they're like the power couple of NXT. They both have the belts back. Cross comes back. If they really want to put Scarlett in a title picture, have both of them feud for the opposite belts with each other.
That would be good.
Kind of like a couple versus couple type of thing.
I'm all for that.
Well, and especially if you have Gargano and Candice like win and then keep winning by each other cheating.
Yeah.
And do that the whole time. And then Cross comes back and him and Scarlett just destroy them.
All for it. I'm all for that. But that does it for NXT this week. Good show like always. Yeah. NXT. Same old.
You know what you're getting at this point.
You know what you're getting. And we're starting to get the same thing now from Friday Night Smackdown, because Friday Night Smackdown has been insanely good. I cannot give it enough praise. But it starts to show off with the dirt sheet with Miz and Morrison, and they're talking about how Miz got Otis's girl, Mandy Rose, traded to Raw. Obscene stuff here. The amount of power the Miz has to be able to do this in the company.
You know, it would have been perfect too for them to bring Maurice back and run Heavy Machinery with Mandy versus Miz and Morrison with Maurice.
It would have, but I
think
think
Maurice
this is,
ever wants to wrestle again.
Yeah, probably not. But I think this is more of a way to get Sonya back on television because you can't. What are you gonna do? Like if Mandy and Sonya are still on the same show, like
Yeah.
You can't be like running that again after the blow off match at SummerSlam. So
the Otis Mandy thing was good.
It was good.
And
and it could also be the start of the push for the Otis World Title run. It's gonna happen.
He's not. He's gonna cash in and come up short.
You think? Oh.
As long as Roman still has the belt, I think
you can't have Terminator Roman lose to Otis.
Lose to Stakes and Weight.
That's your WrestleMania main event right there. Otis versus Roman Reigns. Give it to me. Give it to me all day long. But that happened. They did some silly stuff with Miz in his underwear. Yada yada yada. Otis is silly, and apparently they got like sued or something too. Otis.
But you know what? I'm happy that even though they haven't had Otis cash in and lose the contract, they're keeping the Money in the Bank briefcase relevant enough on the show here and there without ever teasing a cash in. They're doing something different with it, which I like.
Well, yeah, and it's because Otis isn't a heel. And, like, every time there's a heel Money in the Bank person, they run down every chance they get.
That's when the anxiety...
get kicked in the face, and then they can't win or whatever.
That's when, like, the anxiety of, oh, my God, it can happen. It can happen. But if it's if it's, like, a good person, you're like...
It's like, oh, John Cena cashed in 3 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Braun cashed in 3 weeks ahead of time and got bodied.
Yeah, but that's it with that. Let's move on to Alexa Bliss and her little like fiendish possessed action she's been doing of late. She's, you've been seeing her hair on SmackDown. She's rocking like pigtails and all this stuff, looking a little crazy. The last 2 weeks now, she was hitting Sister Abigail on somebody, and it looks like, and she has this like blank stare in her face after she does the move, or if someone mentions the Fiend. So I think they're going with the route that she's possessed by the Fiend or something.
And what I like about it too is she's acting weird without the Fiend ever really being on TV.
Yeah.
So it's almost hammering home like how much, dealing with him screws you up, where without him even really being around is it can still trigger you.
Yeah, it's really good writing, honestly. And they're building it nice and slow too. They're not just rushing her, throwing her in a fun house and like, oh, Alexa's here. It's nice and slow build because you don't know what's going on. Yes, she's hitting the Sister Abigail. Yes, she's like spacing out of nowhere, but it's really well. They're doing this really well with her. I like it.
I like it. And again, Alexa's a really good performer. Like she's incredible on the mic. She's incredible. She's a great actress. Like she's so good at like acting and playing a role.
She'll probably be the next one to make the jump to Hollywood.
She could. If they wanted her to, she definitely could. She is so good. Yeah.
She's fine. Yeah, no, but they're running with this. I'm very excited to see where it goes. Very intriguing stuff with that. And another thing that's having a nice little slow build too is the Sasha and Bayley feud now, because they're not rushing this. They're not putting it on Clash of Champions. They're taking their time with this. Sasha was back at the Performance Center on SmackDown with a neck brace on, saying how Bayley used her and all this nonsense, which Bayley said the week before. And Bayley came and attacked her. It's very slow stuff because we know Bayley's defending her title against Nikki Cross at Clash. So they're just doing this very slow, and I like it.
And I like that they're doing it on the side. You know, with Sasha being injured that she can't compete, I like that they're still having Bayley go do something, but also coming back to this every so often.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love if Sasha costed her the belt at
It's going to happen.
Ooh,
I think so.
Nikki gets the title?
Nikki has the title, but it's honestly just a transition. Yeah. Give it to Alexa.
Then give it to Alexa. Exactly.
Give it to Alexa.
Well, honestly, that's probably
that's what it writes itself. You should do it. That's exactly what you should do.
Either way, whatever happens at Clash of Champions, one way or another, Bayley and Banks are going to be in the cell.
That's fine. Sasha's going to wind up killing herself in the cell again, but
That's where this
Bailey's
is heading.
probably safer than Becky, though.
Do you think it'll be blue?
No, it'll be regular colored.
Red?
No, it won't be red. It'll be the
silver again.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe black. Black would look cool.
Black would be tough.
It might look crappy on TV because it doesn't really blend in then.
True.
That's true, because it'd be like black rubber.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be. I think it's still gonna be red. I really do.
That's so stupid because there's SmackDown.
Well, there's gonna be one on SmackDown, one on Raw, probably.
2 cells.
Yeah, but then why do you do 2 red? Why do you have a red cell?
Because hell is red and the cell is hell.
It's
Cell in a
hell
in a cell, add hell in a
It's
cell.
rubber.
I said cell in hell. Yeah.
Rage in the Cage.
Rage in the Cage, Slambulance, Ambulance. All the great names. But that's your SmackDown Hell in a Cell match, I think.
Oh,
it makes sense. It's the one that makes sense out of all of them. There's no other blood feud that's really going on, quote unquote blood feud.
Otis and Miz.
Otis and Miz.
Imagine Otis's fat ass getting thrown off the cell.
Oh, that'd be great.
Gee, it's like that earthquake we had a couple weeks ago here in Jersey, just down in Orlando. God, no, I love Otis, but yeah, good stuff there. More good stuff continuing. Sami Zayn coming out. I'm the IC champ. I never lost the title, all that. So he has a match with AJ just for, whatever. But
I wonder if they pitched that to him at the beginning.
Maybe
to have like
do this angle.
Yeah,
but they did not think that far.
No,
what are we talking about?
No, they were probably mad at him that he left,
and that's why they stripped him of it.
But
and he's like, "Hey guys, I'll come back now."
Yeah, I'll come back.
And they were like, "All right, you're gonna lose to AJ."
Yeah, basically.
But we haven't had. I mean, I'll say we haven't had, but we literally just had a semi-unification. Who's the real U.S. champion shtick over on Raw?
Literally
just had it. Yeah, but they're running that back again. But Jeff Hardy came out, put a ladder in the ring. He said he's sick and tired of hearing all of this nonsense about who's the real Intercontinental
It's going to be a ladder match.
It is a ladder match.
Yep.
Yeah, they set up a ladder. He said, you know what? Once and for all, Clash of Champions, Styles, Zayn, Hardy, ladder match for the IC title.
How is Clash of Champions more extreme than Extreme Rules?
The horror show at Extreme Rules. Thank you very much.
Well, let's see if someone's eye gets taken out at Clash of Champions.
Well, that happens at Clash of Champions. That's a freak accident then.
Jesus Christ, yeah. But I like this too. This is great.
They have an ambulance match. They have a ladder match. Who would have thought? You can have stipulation matches.
And they make sense. That's the most important thing with both of those stipulations. They both make sense. You don't have an IC champion. Hang it above the ring. Whoever grabs it first gets it. You're throwing guys going into ambulance each week because they're getting injured. Have an ambulance match. It just makes sense, and it's beautiful when things make sense. Very good. All right, let's just finish up SmackDown really quickly. We had the Samoan Street fight between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus King Corbin and Sheamus. It was good.
It's like the end of Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, yeah, basically. Got the Samoans all together. But it was a good match, and Jey Uso picked up the win for the squad. So that happened, and I was trying to put the right words.
They're trying to give him a little bit of legitimacy going into the Roman match.
Yeah, but the more important thing of that was after the match was Jey Uso grabbed the Universal title. And then Roman's like, what the hell are you doing? But then Jey Uso tossed it back. They're all buddy laughing. Ha, you're my cousin. Ha, all laughing and smiling. And then Jey Uso leaves. Roman's still smiling. But as soon as Jey Uso turns his back, Roman just goes stale face like he's about to beat the hell out of Jey Uso. Like he's about to obliterate him. Like he just like turns it off like the family mode and turns on the work mode. Like
I think we kind of know which way this match is gonna go. Then
he's got
We said either finger poke of doom or just complete annihilation. I think it's gonna be a complete annihilation.
I'm with you on that too. I think it's completed unless they're throwing a curveball at us too, but I don't think so.
I think Jey will get a little bit of offense in, but not much.
Not much. It's gonna be like a Brock Daniel Bryan match.
Brock Ricochet.
Oh,
Brock just had no idea how to.
Ricochet didn't even get a move in.
That was so bad. But it's gonna be like the Brock Styles matches, sort of something like that.
Yeah.
Jey will get a little.
What?
Yeah, he'll get a little bit in here and there. I like Jey being in this like situation, because he's only ever been a tag team person.
Yeah, no, me too. Before my headphones just cut out by accident. Yeah, no, I think it's fun. It's different. It's fun. It's exciting. There's a great story with family there, and they're telling the story even more in depth with what they're doing on SmackDown. So I have no complaints. You guys like it, right?
Oh yeah,
I love it. I think SmackDown is really good, and it's also really been helped by Roman being back. And Roman's new character is great.
And the thing is, too, with SmackDown being good, The Fiend's barely on TV or Bray Wyatt, and it's still really
good. And it's just building, yeah.
And then when he's on
the character.
Yeah, it protects the character. And when he's on TV, it's even better. So SmackDown's been, like Jesse, I think, said, SmackDown's been the A show as of late, and no complaints. But actually, I skipped over one thing because we didn't talk about this last week either. We'll just end with this. Mystery women. We keep seeing Mystery women.
I think it's Carmella.
Yeah, it's Carmella.
It's Carmella, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was her tattoo that was shown. And
yeah.
There was another picture that was lined up with the exact area where the tattoo was.
It's her.
It's Carmella. New gimmick for her. Adds to the women's division. Can't complain.
Yeah. Just more depth.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the gimmick is.
It's basically like a bougie kind of like rich girl looks like in a way.
Wasn't that Eva Marie's original gimmick?
Eva Marie with a wardrobe
really
malfunction gimmick.
Yeah, it was her gimmick.
Well, JR would have loved that gimmick for being honest. Not wrong. But okay. Any final thoughts on this week or heading into Clash of Champions?
That's next week, right?
That's next Sunday. Yeah. So we're maybe do a small recap.
We'll do a recap prediction, more so predictions, kind of
more predictions next week. Yeah, we'll talk about the main points of each show and then give our Clash of Champions predictions next week. But any final thoughts?
No, just kind of enjoying what SmackDown and NXT is doing. Raw, they're just kind of treading water.
Yeah,
till someone comes back and rescues them, or they figure out how to write a good storyline.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
I agree.
I really still hope we find out who the leader of Retribution is soon.
If they go,
if Clash goes by and we still don't know
at least one person, at least one.
God,
I'll give them. It doesn't matter who. It could be like the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah, like it could be just Devon from Aces and Eights. It doesn't
literally
matter. We need
someone.
There's gotta be something. You cannot, because it's not even like there's this slow build of like, oh, who is it? It's like they just come in, they wreck stuff, and they leave. Nobody ever tries to unmask them. Why does nobody ever try to unmask them?
Go for the hoods.
Exactly.
They're not even like wearing masks. They're wearing like burglar.
One bold prediction. Let me get my
ski mask. It can easily come off.
Yeah. Let me get my little bold prediction out of the way of how
Go for it.
Orton McIntyre's in the main event, first of all. It's going to end in a no contest. It's an ambulance match. How does that happen? Retribution comes out, throws both of them in the ambulance. They both go away.
I thought you were about to say they drive away with the ambulance.
Maybe that too. But that's also how they continue this Orton McIntyre feud till Hell in a Cell, and that's your Raw Hell in a Cell match. Orton versus McIntyre.
Yeah. There's gonna be a Raw. That's gonna be the Cell match.
They also
how about all of Retribution versus Hurt Business in the Cell?
Oh, that's fire too.
13 on
Retribution.
4.
What if Retribution interferes and then like Keith Lee tries to come out to help, and then they throw Lee in the ambulance too, and then it's a triple threat.
Even better. I thought you were going to say Lee's involved at Retribution for a second.
No,
no.
Hey ho. But okay.
No, there's only two guys I think that should be involved with Retribution, and that's either Aleister Black or Owens.
I agree.
I think those are the only.
Could you
ones
imagine if they're
sense.
both in it together and they've just been feuding for the hell of it?
Oh my god, that would piss me off.
That would be terrible storytelling.
Yeah,
that would be awful storytelling.
Do you put it past
like,
them?
Haha, we tricked you guys.
But since it's terrible storytelling, it's an even higher chance that we see that.
That's some raw storytelling.
That's some raw stuff right there.
Yeah, the problem with Owens being the leader is that you have to switch Black back face immediately.
God, they're in a pickle. That's all I know.
What about Seth? Could Seth do it?
Yeah,
they're feuding with the
they can all be his disciples.
Oh, it'd be great if he did that and like turned on Murphy, and then Murphy and Seth have a feud to send Seth away. Finally, where Murphy wins.
Seth needs to go away soon. Just his
wife is having a baby.
A kid.
Like he can't keep just asking him to continue going.
No. Wow. All right, so we have a lot of stuff to look forward to. So that does it for this episode of the Department Podcast. Thank you guys all for listening and watching. It means a lot to us. Please continue supporting us, and we'll do our best to put out as much content as we can. Don't forget, you guys can follow us on or subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Leave a comment, leave a 5-star review. Tell us your favorite part of the show. We're always open for discussions and listening to your guys' comments. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and for now, TikTok, I guess, at Department_pod. Stay tuned. Like I said, we have plenty of content filmed, NFL stuff, NBA playoffs, MLB, upcoming playoffs. So guys, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next episode.